Hey, what's up, y'all? Y'all doing okay? So yeah, I finished Finnegan's Wake. Holy shit, that took me about a year and a month, and well, it took him 17 years. But oh man, um, I don't really know what to say. It's just a great experience. It's totally not for everyone, which is exactly why I picked it up. And James Joyce is weird Aquarius, developing the stream of consciousness technique, and who happened to be born like a week away from Virginia Woolf, who was also Aquarius and perfecting the stream of consciousness technique. But anyway, it's truly amazing, and now I'm getting into William Goddess. The Recognitions was finally released. It's been out of print for a while, and I hear it's really good. So I'm just starting to get into that as well. Yeah, I also got Willie Strieber's Solving the Communion Enigma. It's really short. Well, I didn't get it. I checked it out. It's really short, but I like it. Y'all might like it too. Anyway, Dolores Cannon has a lot of interesting things. I know I mentioned her before, but here's just some of the things. It confirms the key by Strieber. It says that our deserts were once great civilizations, and that centaurs and fairies and the like were actually just Atlantean experiments, of the crazy scientists there. And a weird thing about Noah's Ark is that these aliens knew that the Earth was gonna fuck up because were using the crystal, were using crystals, as their technology way back then. And instead of just using them by themselves, they're like, oh, let's get more power from the Earth. So they started pointing the crystals down towards Earth, and they were using that energy, and it fucked up the Earth. So that's why Atlantis was destructed, or whatever. It wasn't necessarily just a pole shift. It was because of man himself. And so the aliens came down, took a few people, and went up into space and watched the Earth completely be massacred. But the weird part is that she was saying that when they were in space, it was like as if time sped up by like 100. They were watching literally the Earth form and change as if it were over a huge span of years. And the humans were asking the aliens why, and the aliens said, because time doesn't exist out here. Time only exists on Earth. And that just freaked me the fuck out, because David Wilcock really confirmed that in the source fields, that the actual movement of planetary bodies is what creates time. But who knows, right? Anyway, and so she said that during the past life hypnosis session, the person who was experiencing this, they also said that, and most of the major monuments were built after the Atlantean floods by the survivors of Atlantis, still using their crazy levitation crystal power technology. Because still to this day, no one can explain shit on how they built the Great Pyramids or Stonehenge. It's way too fucking heavy for a Homo sapien. Another really interesting thing was that Bermuda Triangle apparently has an Atlantean temple underneath it, which also corresponds to Karl Marx the Code, because Bermuda Triangle is right at 19.5 degrees, like the Mayan pyramids, and Hawaii, of course. So, of course, they would build a temple there. So the temple plus the 19.5 degrees makes the whole Bermuda Triangle a little trippy. But yeah, I find that very, very cool. And apparently the other day there was a huge solar storm that made the northern lights visible in Europe. Like, oh shit, like people could see Aurora Borealis from northern England, That's really ridiculous, I think. Another interesting fact I found out, in Life After Life, of course, I said he already mentioned Swedenborg with near-death experiences. But what's weird is that it was published in 1975, the exact same year as The Invisible Landscape by McKenna, which also confirms that the DMT elves could have been what people are trying to call angels, what people are trying to call the spirit world. So McKenna and the guy who wrote Life After Life both confirmed something I came at independently in the same year, 1975, which was the year of the rabbit, 12 years before my birth of the year of the rabbit. So I just think that's kind of interesting. But yeah, I really, if if Wilcock really believes he is the reincarnation of Casey, which I'm pretty sure he is, um, then he should do a past life regression. He should do past life hypnosis to see, literally, if he really was Edgar. I want to do it to see if I literally was, I don't know, William Miller or some shit, because our birth charts are almost parallel to each other, Like, I just don't know a good past life hypnosis person, and I don't want to pay $1,000, and I don't want to pay, $30 for a shitty tape, because I've tried some tapes, and it's not good. You need the person's energy there with you. You can't just have tapes and stuff like that. Sorry, the focusing is all weird. So yeah, also Neptune's in Pisces, Neptune is in the sign in which it rules. Swedenborg was also born with Neptune in Pisces, hence his huge psychic potential. This is going to be for all of us now on the Earth. Our whole archetype for everyone right now has Neptune and Pisces on Earth. So we're going to be more in touch. Jupiter's finally in Taurus, Uranus totally in Aries, and Saturn will be in Scorpio later this year. So there's a huge amount of change this year astrologically. It's not just Mayan calendar, blah, blah, blah. It's actual planetary alignments are changing. You can get a free text of Keepers of the Garden by Dolores Cannon on a website I'll give you. It's theshiftofconsciousness.info/keepersofthegarden, keepersofgarden.html. And that's the free book about the person who did past life hypnosis, and their fucking past life was an alien. Oh shit, I know, it's crazy. Y'all gotta read that one, it's free. Anyway, oh yeah, the DMT Spirit Molecule, the movie's on Netflix now, y'all. Y'all have to see it. It's so good. Stream that shit. But yeah. Also, once again, I just want to point out, like, it is extremely, extremely coincidental that James Joyce, whose both of his major novels, Ulysses and Finnegan's Wake, are about spiral cyclical time, he was born 1882. Okay, and that's when Nietzsche exactly came up with his eternal recurrence theory, or whatever, in The Gay Science, Die Fröhliche Wissenschaft. And then Zarathustra was about explaining it a little bit more. So he was coming up with that archetype when someone was being born around that time to incorporate that archetype into their literature. And even more so, James Joyce was born on February 2nd, Groundhog Day. And, of course, the film is about, with Bill Murray, a fucking genius, is about living the same day over again. So there's this weird archetype going on, like time is cyclical, and people are creating art unconscious of its archetypes. I find that really cool. And also, Ulysses and Finnegan's Wake were released on his birthday. He requested that in, 1922 to 1939. But I finished Finnegan's Wake on February 2nd, the 90th anniversary of Ulysses' publication last February. So I just think that's kind of interesting. I didn't do it necessarily on purpose. But anyway, the vid's getting kind of long. Y'all have a good one. Enjoy the music.